Hello everyone, it is Bubs. I hope you're all doing well. So today is the 21st of February. Most of February has been wet and gloomy and rainy, and today we've had sun. And it's been such a lovely day. It's put me in such a great mood, and it only tells me that the days will only get longer. There will be more sun to come. I just know that when the weather is a little bit better, it makes it a lot easier. Even if I'm stuck at home, at least I can be outside enjoying the sun in my back garden. I have had such a lovely day. We just got back from a nice lengthy walk, and I've been meaning to film this video for a while. So last week I asked you guys to submit in your questions because it's been a long time since we've done a Ask Bubs Q&A. I've got your questions screenshotted and saved in my phone. So first of all, thank you so much for submitting your questions, and I really look forward to catching up. 10 more months till Christmas! First question, how are the doggies doing? They are doing wonderful, thank you. So Domo is now 9 years old, Chubby is 10, so it's so weird to think, like a lot of you guys remember when I took Chubby and Domo home as little puppies, and now they're senior doggies that get on a lot like puppies. Domo has been my shadow and has continued to for the past 9 years. He's kind of huffing at me because I was trying to like brush his eye boogers out. Oh, sorry. Excuse me, I've been sneezing so much today. I think, you know, with spring, here comes the allergies. Chubby is doing fine too. You know, she's always been a bit more independent. Domo's always been the one that like kind of followed me. Look at the face on him. Sometimes you guys are like, where is Chubby? And I get asked questions whether she's still alive, and yes, she is. What is the hardest / nicest thing about being a single parent? Well, apparently I've learned that I'm not a single parent, I'm a single mom. I'm gonna start with the hardest. Not being able to be with my kids every single day is what eats me the most. The nicest thing about it is while they're away, the dogs get all of me. How is it like dating a Caucasian? Does he take off his shoes at home? So when he's in my home, yes, he does take his shoes off, or else, you know, I will threaten him with my cleaver. Yeah, when he's in his own home, he keeps his shoes on. So when I visit his house, I bring my own slippers. Dating a Caucasian really isn't that different because I guess even though I am Chinese, I did grow up here. If you're talking like years and years ago, my parents would probably prefer me to find another Asian man, but you know, times have changed now, and I think now it's just as long as I'm happy. And I mean, obviously it's my life. I don't need my family's approval, but it's quite nice to know that my mom and dad, they're not so fussed about Asian or not, because at the end of the day, it's just really as long as you treat my daughter good. It is lockdown, so he hasn't really been able to meet my friends and family. So it's kind of weird because we've been together for a bit now, but he's never really met my family and friends properly. But I look forward to the day. It's more of, we have such a different upbringing. He was born and brought up in the countryside, and he refers me as a city girl, which is something I never really saw myself as. Favorite scents or lip colors lately? So I'm gonna start off with scent. I love my Jo Malone Jasmine, Sambuck, and Marigold cologne. Sorry. That took me way too long to remember this word. This was recommended by my friend Susie from Style Susie, and so far everything she has recommended I have loved, and she mentioned that every time she wore this she would get compliments. This was slightly more expensive than their other ones, but even still I knew I had to get it, and this is hands down my favorite Jo Malone scent. One of my favorite scents is jasmine. I find it very soothing and relaxing, but yeah, this is such a feminine, sweet but not overly sweet. It's just a gorgeous scent. And then next up for lips, I've been loving my Luxe lip oils just because it has been very cold. I've been blasting my heating, and so my lips have been looking so much more dry, and When I have it on, my lips just feel so soothed, and at the same time the oils, it just helps to plump out the lips and makes them look so much fuller, hence making you look a little younger. So yes, lip oil and my Jo Malone cologne. Tips for single moms with young kids. I really admire your strength, grace, and kindness. Thank you so much. That means a lot, although I have to say, for me, I'm still trying to navigate this. It doesn't necessarily feel any easier for me yet, but it has been better. Such a broad spectrum, and I feel like I could give you a bunch of functional tips, but it really goes down to, I guess for me, the advice that really helped was someone telling me that my family's not broken. You as a role model is much more important than your relational status. If anything, this might stir up curiosity for your children, and it can even help them become better people. What's most important is that your children grow up in a non-toxic environment, and if you're able to give your children love and warmth and security, that is all that matters. Where and how did you meet Mr. Lumberjack? So this is quite a popular question, and I can see why a lot of you guys are curious and you want to know more. I'm just gonna be upfront and honest with you guys. So it happened when, I'm gonna have to go way back. Girls and I were having lunch together, which makes me really miss my girls and being able to bond through carbohydrates. But yes, we were having lunch and we were just updating each other on how things are, and the topic came to me and how I was adjusting and recovering. Yeah, we were suddenly discussing the possibilities of the future, if I was ready for dating. And yeah, I had a girlfriend. She suggested Bumble, and I never ever wanted to try Tinder. I've heard about Tinder, and I know for some people it works great, but I heard more bad than good. So what happens is, in Bumble, you both sort of like swipe. You only swipe right if you like someone, and they only swipe right to you, and if there's a match, it's up to the girl to contact. And I know to a lot of girls that's like, whoa, I don't want to do that, but I like that idea because it made me feel more empowered, and it allows me to filter out who I want to talk to, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I made a profile and I just wanted to browse and sort of see what it's like out there. So everything was just upfront, you know, 4 of a 10, female, Sagittarius, likes this, dislikes that, and you know, I very obviously stated in my profile that I am a single mom of 2 kids. I want people to know that my #1 priority will always be my kids. I was quite fascinated because I realized that whenever I saw topless pictures, no matter how good the body is, I just swiped away from that, and it's quite unfair. It's unfair to think just because someone shows their body doesn't mean they're vain, but I think with profiles, you can only see so much, especially if they don't have very much in their profile. What made me swipe right for Mr. Lumberjack was he had his dog, right? And I get that a lot of guys have dogs and pictures, right? But his dog was in a snowman costume. So I knew this guy had to like dogs. And there was also something about his face and his smile that looked really, really genuine. We began to talk, and there was just something that was very sincere about him. He had no game at all. He was just really, really genuine. I don't know anyone that chops trees. He doesn't chop it down himself. They have machinery and stuff, but I was just very intrigued with his lifestyle, the fact that he lives on a mountain. And I think at this point in my life, I just really wanted simplicity. We had our first date in a cafe, my very first date. He just made me laugh the entire night with his stories. And I didn't know he was so nervous, so that's why he kept on talking, but I didn't know he was nervous. I was laughing away. All he did was keep spotting out dogs and saying, oh, look at this dog, get this dog. And I just loved how you can see his eyes light up whenever he saw dogs. And, you know, in our very first date, we were saying things like, what's the best way to dispose a body? Because we're both really into watching documentaries on serial killers. So until today, our very favorite thing to do together is to watch serial killer documentaries and go dog spotting in the park. And I like that he sends me dog memes every single day. To me, that's romantic. Like, sending memes in general is very romantic, but if it's a dog meme, even better. What I really do like about him is that he enjoys doing all the simple things that I'm so sorry. I am a ball of emotion today. I know I said it was allergies, but I'm probably just emotional too. Flip me. But yes, he enjoys doing all the simple things. What are some relationship red flags? There are so many out there that I don't think I'll be able to mention all of them. You consistently feel unhappy. Your partner always wants their way. You only spend time with each other. When you've got nothing to talk about, you notice a change in your self-esteem. Oh, that's a big one. Your partner undermines you and puts you down. You can't tell your partner how you really feel. You don't trust each other. So some of these red flags is not necessarily to do with other people, it's also to do with yourself. No one is perfect, but there are far too many people who have issues and they end up punishing their partners for it. You know, there are people who have trust issues and they'll punish their partner by constantly questioning them. They'll punish them by shutting them from other people. They'll put them down so they think they're not good enough for other people. When you break up with someone, what you'll find is usually it's the red flags that you kind of oversaw. So what are some new things you're learning about yourself lately? About a month ago, I was told that I have PTSD, and I was quite surprised because I used to think, oh, PTSD, is this not something you only get if you're like a veteran or you've been assaulted? It's not that I'm not as recovered as I thought I was. It's just that the road to recovery just happens to be longer, and you know, I am doing well. It's just the process. So even though on days where it feels like I'm going down, actually as a whole it looks like this on the graph. Some things have been quite difficult. As a whole, I know they all come together for the better good. I've started to draw lately, as some of you guys know, and I've started to draw comics. And what I've learned is, you know, ever since I was a little girl, I would spend all day just drawing and writing my own stories, and then my cousins and I would come together, would swap our comics and just read it. We had our own little club, and until today, that is still one of my favorite moments of my childhood. And you know, a lot has happened since then. I've gone off to high school, stopped drawing, and just kind of got into like boys and university, partying, YouTube, marriage, and blah blah blah. But now I've gone back to drawing again, and it's so nice to relive my childhood. And even though when I started YouTube making beauty videos, and I loved it, I'm so thankful for it, but what I've realized is what I loved doing the most was sharing stories. I just want to keep being able to share stories, and that has been serious therapy for me. All through my life, it's always been art that carried me through. I've also learned that it's okay to use my dishwasher. I'd rather use that time spent with the kids. I'm just gonna finish off with this one, which is, can you share some dating tips in pandemic? I would always say try to do phone calls more than texting. Who knows how many people they're talking to at the same time, I guess. What differentiates it is your voice. I think you can get a lot more from a phone call than you would from text, and video even more so. So even though you might not be able to see each other, you can have dinner dates. You know, this is just something my friends and I do. You know, we'll have dinner with the camera in front of each other, and we're like, what are you eating? This does not apply to like pandemic dating or not. It just applies to dating in general. But I've never believed in like playing games. You know, some people are like, oh, you have to like wait a few days before you do this. I don't want to feel like I need to play games to keep a guy interested. You know, I'm 34 years old. If you're busy, you got things to do, and you rather use that time to talk to someone, like that should be enough. I recommend a guy called Matthew Hussey. He's great at giving not just dating advice, but life advice. No, this was a Q&A. It really did feel like a deep catch up, and it was nice. On another day film this I'd be more cool, but today I am feeling just so emotional, but it's a happy emotional. It feels nice to talk about Lumberjack because it makes him more real, and I hope you guys understand that it's not that I'm trying to keep him away or I'm trying to tease you guys. It's just I share what I can, whatever he's comfortable with. Sometimes when I talk about you guys in your comments, he kind of laughs, but he's not the type that would go through the comments to see what people are saying about him. Like, he doesn't really care about that. He does know that the Bubs fam are the best bunch in the world. Yeah, I hope today's video makes you guys smile. We've sat for a while and the sun is gone, but it's still shining here. I'm really glad that we got to sit here and chat for a bit. Well, me chatting, you guys listening. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Oh, Chubby's here. He came downstairs. Hello, what are you here for? Thank you so much for chilling with me, and I will talk to you all soon.